Big thanks to Quavo. His new release is out today. It is a rainy night, but we are supposed to, at least with regard to the forecast, get along okay without any stoppages. But it's cold, 50 degrees. I forgot how cold 50 degrees can feel. It is chilly here at Truist Park. And a nice moment earlier. You know the guy on the right's going to do it, Brian Snitker. But you spied this from up in the booth. His son Troy, the hitting coach for the Astros, brought out the Astros lineup card. Here's what that card read for Houston. Altuve leads it off. Michael Brantley bats second, and Alex Bregman hits third at third. Yordan Alvarez, typically the DH, is in left. Carlos Correa is at short. Kyle Tucker is patrolling center. Yuli Gurriel at first. Martin Maldonado does the catching, and Luis Garcia pitching and batting ninth. On the bump for the Atlanta Braves, we give you the pitcher profile for Ian Anderson, sponsored by DirecTV Stream.
Well, not many pitchers throw with the release point that he does. Straight over the top. Pressure's going to be on him on spotting his fastball and throwing his curveball for strikes. He has a great changeup that he wants to utilize. But this team, just like every statistical category, they're the best team in baseball against the changeup. So again, strength against strength.
The reception for Jose Altuve. Jose will try to get it going as he did in game 2 when he led off with a double down the left field line. First pitch is outside for ball 1.
So that over-the-top fastball, Joe's pretty straight, but he's good inside against hitters. So if he spots his fastball, he doesn't throw it but about 50-some% for strikes. He's done a great job at preventing runs, but a lot of traffic, not as many clean innings as you would like when it comes to the postseason. Hence, he hasn't gone deep in any of his postseason, but he has been really good in the postseason.
And the count's gone to 3-0. You hear the crowd chanting cheater for Altuve with reference to the cheating scandal from 2017. 3-0 pitch. Strike 1.
He has a slow heartbeat. You'll never look that he's bothered by anything, and that's what they love about Ian Anderson, his ability to just calm the storm and pitch in big moments.
Pitching on 5 days rest. That's back here, full count.
If there's a knock about Altuve, and there's not many, he swings at a lot of pitches that would have gotten him a walk. And right there, he wanted to hit more than he wanted to walk.
He takes the walk to start the night. And we'll look at the Atlanta defense. The Braves should have an advantage, especially with the outfield with these games in the National League Park. Rosario, Duvall, and Soler. Around the infield, it's Riley, Swanson, Albies, and Freeman, with Darno behind the plate. Trying to help Ian Anderson now pitch around that leadoff walk as Michael Brantley steps in.
And the pressure that Ian's going to have on throwing strikes is magnified by the offense doesn't swing at a lot of balls. So they make you come into the zone, and that's why they do the damage they do offensively, collectively as a team.
Strike 1. All Brantley does is just hit. 57 postseason hits since 2019. He's played in 9 games during his World Series time, and he's hit .378. 5 for 9 so far in this set against Atlanta.
Well, up until this point, everybody has hit in ideal situations. Even in Boston, it wasn't that cold. This will be the first offensive challenge of cool weather. Bat feels a little different. Elements come into play.
No. I worked with a guy in football that didn't like to throw a wet football.
Right, and I understand that.
And I work with a guy in baseball that did not like pitching in the cold.
I did not, and it's ironic because I grew up in Michigan, but being here 32 years in the generally heat thins you out, and having a grip on the baseball, at least tonight there's humidity, and that helps. It won't be dry. The humidity helps the pitchers.
Might be, and is a double play.
Well, this is an outstanding job. You're taught as a pitcher, and you practice it in spring training. When you get one back to you, throw it over the bag, even if there's nobody there at the time. And he gets it, throws it over the bag, and in the shift, Swanson turns two.
Yeah, great job by Swanson, having to move to his right to turn the double play, and then able to stop his momentum and get Brantley by plenty.
And to not underscore, that is a huge double play for Ian Anderson, because we mentioned how much the Astros do when Altuve's on base.
Good pick by Darno on ball one. Bregman 0 for 7. And he admitted that he is grinding, trying to get his stroke back. 2-0.
But that's going to be the big key. Already his off-speed pitches, none of them for strikes that they have swung at. And that's the key. He's got to. The curveball for Ian Anderson is like a free strike if he can throw it for a strike, because then that takes the heat off his fastball.
Nails the inside corner, 2-1.
They're going to be two drastically different styles. Straight back over the top fastball, and if you haven't seen Luis Garcia pitch, well, you're in for a little treat in a different way that he gets it done. As far as his delivery.
Same spot. Full count. Another walk. A walk, a double play, a walk, and that'll bring in Alvarez. It's been raining for the better part of 2 days. Tom Verducci, how is the field holding up?
Well, I spoke with Braves groundskeeper Ed Mangan, and he said the field's in great shape. His crew has been here literally all day long to make sure it's World Series ready. But, Joe, you have to remember, the field was uncovered for 45 minutes before the game. It was raining just like this during that time. So the infield, as well as the outfield, is wet. That means infielders will be throwing wet baseballs on ground balls, and outfielders need to play a step or two deeper because that ball will skid rather than bounce on the wet turf.
Here's Yordan Alvarez. 1 on, 2 out, and a high fly ball into left. Rosario ends the top of the first. 2 walks by Anderson. Gets around him. No score after a half in game 3. Here's the lineup for Atlanta here for game 3. Eddie Rosario leads off. Freddie Freeman bats second. Ozzie Albies hits third. Austin Riley cleans up. Jorge Soler is in right, batting 5th. Adam Duvall in center. Travis d'Arnaud does the catching. Dansby Swanson hits 8th, and Ian Anderson bats in the 9 spot against a big right-hander coming off of beauty in game 6 of the ALCS, Luis Garcia.
Yeah, Luis Garcia, his ERA is high, but his biggest game was on the road in Boston. It put that series and flipped it in favor of Houston, and he's hoping to do the same thing here in Atlanta. electric stuff. Fastball, I call it a slider. They call it a cutter, but it breaks more than a cutter. That's the pitch. If he can get his breaking balls away to right-handers, the Braves will have a big challenge on them.
Eddie Rosario's digging his way in to start this night. If you're in the booth, you call this precipitation a mist. If you're in the seats, it's raining. On a 50-degree night, and Garcia rocks it home.
He left his playoff start in the last series, his first one, with a sore knee. Well, they gave him some rest. He came back. His knee was fine. He was throwing 96 and 97, and all he did was not give up a run for a hit for 5 2/3 of baseball.
Here's a 1-0. Rosario pops it up down the line. Long run. Bregman can't get there, and neither can Alvarez.
Well, the thing that we talk about when you get to the National League Park was the outfield play, and that's going to be a little bit of a question for Houston. It's not like he's a terrible outfielder. Alvarez primarily a DH, but this outfield is going to be basically brand new in a stadium they haven't had too much really time in.
When we asked Dusty Baker before the game about how concerned he was with the outfield defense, he said he's just as concerned with the infield defense, because that's been covered since the Astros got to Atlanta. They haven't played here, and so these guys really haven't seen how the ball bounces, if it's a fast infield, slow infield. No two infields are created equally. 1-1 to Rosario, foul back. So he's got Tucker in center. 5 games for Kyle Tucker in center field entering this game in his regular season career. That's the fewest games in center before starting a World Series game all time. He's got a lot of ground to cover with Brantley to his left and Alvarez to his right. 1-2 on Rosario.
No. 2-2. There's that pitch that the discipline is going to be challenged of the Atlanta Braves. They love hitting fastballs, and this, again, I'm going to call it a slider, but this pitch has incredible late movement, and he has a lot of strikeouts on that pitch.
Full count on Rosario. He went, struck him out. One away here in the first.
Well, that's the pitch. When you talk about that disappearing ball that looks like a fastball because he throws it 96, the fastball that is. These are the kind of strikeouts and swings he got against a great offensive team in Boston. And that's going to be the challenge for the Atlanta Braves, is to stay away from those kind of pitches. And even though Rosario thought he checked his swing, which he may have, but the home plate umpire called it, and I don't think he went, and he didn't think he went, but a 3-2 strikeout.
Tom Hallion thought he went. That's all that matters. 1 out, nobody on for Freddie Freeman. Eddie's still talking about it. Here it is to Freeman. The opposite way, and Alvarez coming to get it. 2 out.
It's so hard for umpires on check swings because there was a lot of body movement, right? They're trying to find the barrel, but there's a ton of body movement that gets in the way.
Defense, Yordan Alvarez in left. You know that. Kyle Tucker in center and Michael Brantley is in right. Around the infield, trying to figure out this infield and how it plays. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, and Gurriel with Martin Maldonado, the rock behind the plate. Very important with the young Luis Garcia, the rookie right-hander, on the mound. There won't be much, if any, shaking off by Garcia in this game. He will let Maldonado guide him through. Ball one to Ozzie Albies.
There's the curveball. Okay, you see the bigger break there. He hasn't broke out the changeup yet, but there's the adjustments he made from game 2 to game 6. And that's why the high ERA, but that game 6 was about as good a game as you can pitch in a hostile environment in a 1-0 game at the time.
Albies 3 for 8 in this World Series. He's used his legs to get his hits. Strike one. So extra rest for Garcia. He was lined up to pitch game 2. His manager Dusty Baker, Brent Strom, they went with Urquidy. That move worked. Urquidy was outstanding. And they get extra rest for Garcia, whose numbers aren't as good on the road, but they'll take the rest at this point in the season. 2-1. So on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app, they have Luis Garcia's over/under for strikeouts tonight set at 4.5. What say you?
Well, if you took the over, you're in pretty good shape based on the style of hitting that the Braves have, the pitcher hitting in the National League. So I would say over is the play.
Albies has hit in 11 straight during the postseason. Waits for a 2-1 pitch. .96 from Garcia, strike 2. Garcia making sure it's okay for him to blow into his hand there on the mound on this cold, damp night, and the answer was yes. From Bolivar, Venezuela, brings it home on 2-2. Ball. Full count. Austin Riley on deck.
I stand corrected. His start was in Houston for Garcia in the 1-0 game.
3-2 pitch. No. A 2-out walk. Again, the reminder, Albies right out of the gate has won America free tacos from Taco Bell with a first inning stolen base in game 1. And only that, the base he stole is going to be added to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown to celebrate his achievement of winning America free tacos.
Now Riley has got to take advantage of the fastballs. He won't see many that he'll see tonight. He is slider happy. They've thrown to him on the outside part. They've had success. He's done a great job this year at really adjusting off that pitch, but lately has been chasing the pitch off the plate.
And Maldonado runs out there to talk to Garcia.
Austin Riley, such an incredible year, an MVP votes. He'll get plenty of them. Boy, when he hits them, they go fast and out.
For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Garcia with a count, 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0.
bit of the weather sometimes can get you a little bit away from your mechanics. He's pulled most of his fastballs now, and he's pretty good straight line fastball on his target.
Skips in for ball 3.
The weather tonight will kind of limit the carry in this ballpark, but to right field the ball jumps. You got to hit it to left and left center. It's a fairer ballpark than what they thought when they first built it. But the last couple years, ball, especially with the temperature, jumps to right field.
3-0 pitch is in for a strike. Austin Riley with a count in his favor. 6 RBIs this postseason to go with his 2 home runs.
See, those are the fastballs. He's not going to get many in that area. More than likely, this should be a 3-2 slider or cutter. But he got the fastball after a 3-0 slider, so maybe he was just a little bit in between, because you rarely see a 3-0 slider. But in the postseason, you're going to see things you normally don't see, because it means that much more, of course, in the World Series.
Garcia really kicking at that pad back there to knock the mud out of his spikes just about after every pitch. Runner will go. That's Albies at first. Riley strikes out. And Garcia came right after him with back-to-back fastballs. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 left, 1 in the books. No score.
The Snapshot app from Progressive rewards you for driving safe and driving less.
Okay, what message did you hear this time? Safe drivers can save using Snapshot.
What's Snapshot?
What the commercial was about.
I tune commercials out.
Yeah, me too. They're always like, blah, blah, blah.
Tell me about it. I'm going to a silent retreat next weekend.
My niece got kicked out of one of those.
For talking?
Grand larceny.
How about we get back to the savings?
Yes, I would like to talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
To live is to ask the big questions like, whoa, how fast was that serve? 98 miles per hour. Wow. How far was that drive? Nice. Are you taking an ECG here? And you're taking one here. Are you taking an ECG at a birthday party? Hi. How'd you sleep? And why are you checking your blood oxygen level? Oh, there's your answer.
An F-150 isn't an F-150 because of the name on the tailgate. It's an F-150 because it's built for tough, built to haul more, built to tow more, for the people who count on it. Because they know that brawn can get the job done, but it takes brains and brawn to get it done right. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Honey, Gio's Pizza Palace just launched Cha-Cha Cheesy Bread.
I'll go wake up the kids.
Excuse me, a random sales rep just emailed for the 14th time about an important new offer that has nothing to do with our business.
Well, forget the merger. This is far more important.
Hey guys, a random sales rep just emailed for the 14th time.
I mean, I just don't get it. They're just recipe videos.
Joanne doesn't just post recipe videos. She posts emotionally vulnerable recipe videos. Those videos have resilience,
Heritage,
love,
activism,
courage. All that and no meat?
Not even fish. Not even fish.
She went from being a lawyer to being a published vegan cookbook author.
Published. After a storied 20-year career, she said it was time for a change.
Can I please see that video? Man, I love vegan Korean food.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. And by TikTok. You have to see it. In the concourse here at Truist Park, the Hank Aaron statue, and the facility here with a battery, as they call it, the bars and restaurants and a hotel right here and businesses. I mean, they built a gem. This has been their home since 2017. Here's a 1-0 to Correa. It's down 2-0 for Ian Anderson.
See, he throws a unique changeup. It doesn't have a lot of movement up and down. It just kind of comes out of that over-the-top delivery that mimics his fastball. And when he's on, they swing a lot of those.
2-1. This young right-hander was the 3rd overall pick in 2016 out of high school in Clifton Park, New York. Came up at the end of August last year. Beat the Yankees and the Red Sox in his first 2 starts. Eventually started Game 7 of the NLCS. So he is battle tested as Soler comes to get it. 1 out. Even though he's young, making his 8th career postseason start.
He's funky enough because you just don't see those release points very often. If you're a hitter, you know, anywhere between low 3/4, high 3/4 are the release points of most pitchers. And so when he comes straight over the top, it gives an illusion on that fastball, especially up, to the hitter that they just don't pick up as well. And then he throws that changeup and curveball. But I'm telling you, the curveball tonight, if he doesn't start hitting with the curveballs, it's going to get increasingly tougher against this lineup.
With 1 out, Kyle Tucker digs in. We'll check in with Kenny Rosenthal here in a moment. As Tucker fouls it back. Kenny, give us more on Ian.
Well, Joe, his parents, Bob and Karen, are here tonight, as is his twin brother, Ben, who is a pitcher in the Rangers organization. Ben was Ian's catcher at Shenendehowa High School in Lake Clifton, New York. And another player on that team was Atlanta Hawks guard Kevin Herter. He was a center fielder and a pitcher. Now back to Ben. He is a guy in the Rangers organization that has a chance to be a major leaguer, but his stuff is going to have to improve. He doesn't have Ian's arm.
Pitch up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. He was described by Luke Jackson. And there's Kevin and Ian back in high school in Clifton Park, New York. NBA star and an MLB star. That is down, the count 2-1. Luke Jackson said Ian's like a 65-year-old in a 24-year-old body.
Probably. He moves like a 65-year-old. He has the experience of a 65-year-old. He's not bothered by much.
Tucker swings and misses. He went on to say, you know, he hasn't seen anything. He's just a kid. But he acts like he's seen it all, and he's not bothered by the big stage. And the stage gets no bigger than what he's on right now.
Yeah. That's what they love most. They love that makeup. It's hard. Can't inject that into everybody.
Tucker takes a ball, and you saw that Ian, by the way, is only 23, but I wasn't going to misquote Luke Jackson, who said he's like a 65-year-old in a 24-year-old body.
Joe, here's his delivery, and you just don't see it. Watch where the ball comes out of, like the top of his head, right straight over the top. And from that angle, and you see how straight-legged he lands to throw that.
3-2 pitch here, and a fly ball into right. Soler will give way, and it's caught by Riley on the other side of the infield and out in shallow right. 2 out.
But that illusion from the hitter is just they don't pick it up. Like you would think right here, okay, you see it, but that changeup just enough to take off the fastball. And the changeup, if he throws it in the same plane of his fastball, that will give the hitters a little more of an issue than when he throws his fastball up and misses down with his changeup. You just don't get too many swings there.
2 out, nobody on. Yuli Gurriel, the 37-year-old first-time American League batting champion, waits and takes a strike.
You can see Darno going, that's it. That's the release point. See, trying to find your release point when it's way up there is a little bit harder sometimes to throw that curveball on a consistent basis.
Pounding the zone with those two. It's 0-2. By the way, if there's any hitter on either team that doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes, it's Yuli Gurriel. Ball 1. A little less of a shift on the infield for Gurriel. Gallen looking. Strikeout number 1 for the 23-year-old trapped in a 65-year-old body. No score. Bottom of the second rolls in. No score. Luis Garcia pitched around the 2-out walk in the first inning by striking out Austin Riley, and came right after him, deals with Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall, and Travis d'Arnaud. Game 3 of the World Series. Rain is stopped. Strike 1. Garcia works it home and a foul straight back.
You know, when you pitch, you're a pitcher and you pitch to Tom Hallion, you want to see his back. What do I mean by that? When you punch somebody out, he shows you his back on the punch out. And so my goal was always to send him to the chiropractor, because that meant it was double-digit strikeouts.
That is great. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, working the plate. And that's the crowd watching in the battery area as Soler strikes out on a check swing. They got Rosario in the first inning leading off on a check swing, and now strikeout number 3 as Soler goes down, try to hold up.
That one was a definite, and again, that same pitch that they've been scouting and watching, but until you see it, look, none of these guys are facing anybody. There's no history for the most part, so you're watching video and you're trying to tell yourself, okay, stay off the pitch when it starts in a certain area, but he has such great spin, it's hard to do.
Duvall now came to the Braves on the 30th of July. One of the 4 outfielders added. That's down for ball 1.
And the reason I think it's going to be a challenge is a lot of the right-handed power hitters have the same type swing, and that swing is more of the launch angle swing. That's why Duvall, so many homers. Soler's got power. Swanson, Riley's changed his swing and gotten flatter. So if a pitcher makes a mistake to these guys, fans got it.
1-0 pitch. Got under it. It's a foul ball and out of play. Duvall ended up second in the league with his 38 home runs, first with his 113 RBIs. And his only hit so far in this World Series, the home run he hit back in Game 1. Second tour with the Atlanta Braves after starting the season with Miami. One pitch on its way, and that's down for ball 2.
So here's what I was talking about. We did a little superimposed a golf club, and that kind of swing right there is what makes Adam Duvall hit so many home runs and drive in so many runs. The flip side of that is more swing and miss.
Down again, 3-1. Already 3 strikeouts by Atlanta Braves hitters, 27 strikeouts by the Braves hitters through the first 2+ games. 3-1 delivery is hit hard at Bregman. 2 out. Maybe you're seeing your first game on television from Truist Park. There are the dimensions, and like you said, we talked to Brian Snitker about it. Initially, this ballpark played really small because the buildings were not constructed yet around the stadium. And you see that area out beyond the wall in right, that battery area that's just so cool outside the gates here. But after the buildings popped up, as Brian Snitker put it, this plays like a true ballpark. This is not a pitcher's park, not a hitter's park. It's just a good ballpark.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. I kind of got a chuckle on the early returns from the hitters when it was first built. They were like, this is way too big. This is not right. And then the ball started jumping. They're like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. A little different now, and on a cold night, probably won't travel like it will during the hot summers here in Marietta. 2 out, nobody on. 1-0 pitch to d'Arnaud. Good one from Garcia. This kid's always smiling. We got to meet him before the first game of the ALCS, and Dusty Baker said he doesn't say anything. He's just very pleasant. He'll have a grimace on his face every once in a while if he's not happy with something, but he's got a terrific demeanor. Just 24 years old. Brings it on a 1-1 count. Strike 2.
Well, he definitely draws the attention of the hitters with his fastball. And he pitches off of it, so he's not afraid. It's not a show pitch. It's a pitch he uses primarily to get ahead, and then the kill pitch for the strikeouts usually is that breaking ball.
d'Arnaud homered in game 2. That one bounces in to even the count 2-2. Garcia really kicking at that dirt on the mound.
Yeah, you know, these games with your cleats, it's the perfect condition for just caking that topsoil that's on the mound, and the next thing you know, you get a little bit of a slide when you land. You hate that as a pitcher. You got to constantly work on your cleats and kick that dirt off because you want a firm landing with your front leg. And he's got a chance to gather more dirt with the salsa.
He's got like 4 landing spots. And he's dealing with a bad back knee, the right knee. Here's the final landing spot with that left foot. Now a 3-2 pitch. Fly ball into right. Back at the wall. It is off the wall. And d'Arnaud's got a 2-out double. I think that wall surprised Brantley out in right. He got on it faster than he thought he was going to. But a double either way.
That's where the ball travels, right? Didn't look like he smoked it, but he squared it up, and the ball travels to right field here about as good as anywhere. And part of that ball structure obviously means you got to hit it a little farther on the height of it. But that ball and that wall can have some ricochets, and that's what Dusty Baker was concerned about. So he's got to have his outfielders always on alert. And now in the National League, the 8th hitter is the hardest spot to hit because they rarely are going to pitch to you in these situations of the pitchers on deck.
So the intentional walk is handed to Swanson. They give him first. It's 2 on with 2 out, and Ian Anderson 2 for 37 during the regular season, 0 for 2 this postseason. Will try to give the Braves the lead here with 2 out.
But that 2-out double ends up becoming, watch what ends up happening as the game plays on. You reset the lineup. Even if he gets an out here, now you have your leadoff hitter hitting in the 3rd inning instead of Swanson or Ian Anderson.
2 on, 2 out. Strike 1. We said this in Houston, but the prevailing thought is that with the new collective bargaining agreement, when they get that hammered out, there will be a universal DH. So these 3 games here in Atlanta, we may be watching the pitcher in the starting lineup as a hitter for the last time.
Very well could be.
Pretty good swing there by Anderson, but now in the hole, 0-2. And if you ask Dusty Baker, who's now managed in both leagues, he prefers managing the National League style with more creativity, more strategy, having to deal with double switches and what have you, as opposed to the DH in the American League. Snitker's used to it. Dusty Baker's managed in it the majority of his career. 0-2 pitch.
You know, I heard a couple interesting ideas when you start thinking about what you can do and the strategy of the game and the amount of pitchers that pitch in the game, obviously the highest it's ever been. One of these strategies or ideas was tie your DH to your starting pitcher. And the thought being, your pitcher goes longer, you have your DH longer. If your pitcher goes shorter, you got to cover more of those pinch hits. But I'm with you. I think eventually we've got to get to playing with the same rule for both leagues.
One-two pitch. Strikeout ends the second, and that's 4 strikeouts now for Garcia. 3rd inning rolls in. Game 3, no score. Certainly loved watching him pitch in postseasons past, and I know that injury has kept you from pitching in this round and the one before it. It's just got to be eating you alive down there, Lance.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you come into spring training with a squad like this, and you know, this is your goal. You know, this is where you want to be, and you want to be a part of that. You want to be pitching, but it's not my time. You know, unfortunately, you know, I got hurt in the division series, so I'm trying to be a cheerleader, be the best teammate I can be, and you know, watching these guys do their thing is pretty fun.
We're watching Martin Maldonado at the plate, and the average baseball fan would say, oh, well, the guy, you know, he hit 170 during the regular season. He's not getting any hits. But for you on the mound, how important is he behind the plate?
You can't really put a price tag on what Maldi does for myself, for the rest of the pitching staff. His preparation is elite. He's one of those guys, when he's back there, you feel that energy, you feel that confidence coming from him. And it brings out the best of you. And you've seen what he's been able to do with us last year with the young pitching staff that we had during the COVID season. And you see what he's, you know, brought to the table this year. He's bringing the best out of these guys. So it's always great to see someone that's as great of a guy as Maldi is, and you know, get the recognition he deserves, even if maybe traditionally speaking, it doesn't jump off the page, because it sure is there.
And the guy coming up after him is Luis Garcia, the 24-year-old right-hander. He looks on tonight. And we were talking during the break, such a pleasant young guy to be around.
I tell you what, in that division series, he gave up some runs to Chicago. Come on, Molly, get on your horse now.
You're cheering on that one?
Yeah, you know, you gotta cheer for your boys. But Luis was throwing the ball extremely well in Chicago, and things kind of tumbled on him a little bit. But he pitched so well to close that series out for us at home against Boston. It was a really tough series. You know, Framber and him, they bounced back so well. And I tell you what, he's got a good swing on him. But this young man here, such a great kid, as you mentioned, and he's got special stuff. The cutter-slider combo, for me, with the velo and the ability for the changeup, it's stuff that jumps off the page.
And he hacks at the first pitch, couple of hops. Albies gets the out, 2 down.
Hey, Lance, one of the things I don't think the country knows is how much under the radar a sneaky great staff you guys have. Is that something you guys take pride in your information and your work? Because, I mean, the staff you guys have may not be household names yet. They're on their way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've had guys here, obviously, you know, Dallas Keuchel, Charlie Morton, you know, speedy recovery to our good friend Charlie, Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander. I mean, the list goes on. So when you don't have those names on your staff, maybe you get overlooked a little bit. And we have such a great offense, such a great defense, you know, that, you know, those guys get the attention, and it's well-deserved attention. I mean, we're the best offense in baseball. But, you know, we have guys that can get the job done. We have a great bullpen. It's only gotten stronger as the year has gone on. The trade deadline was huge for us. James and the front office made some amazing moves, and we've thrown the ball really well, you know, really the whole year.
A strike is into Altuve. You heard what they were chanting in that first at bat. How do your hitters handle all that when a crowd's getting on them the way they did here in Atlanta?
You know, I think we're at some point, you know, we're kind of used to it. And I've said this before, you know, last year there was no fans here. There was no fans in any ballpark. And for me, you know, speaking individually, I would much rather be in an atmosphere like this. I mean, this is so great for baseball. It's so great to see, you know, Atlanta, you know, come out and support their teams like this. So, you know, we understand, you know, what's in store for us on the road, but, you know, we have a lot of love here in this dugout, a lot of love back home. And like I said, you know, being in the stadium full, you know, to the top like this is special.
Well, I got to tell you, man, you're made for this. Are you going to sign a futures contract?
No. You know, I'm hoping to have a couple more years up there on that mound, and then we'll see what life has, you know, in store. But I enjoy being on. I enjoy talking to you guys. And John, I'm sure you enjoy the city of Atlanta coming out like this. We have a tough task tonight. You know, he's throwing the ball really well.
Lance, thanks, man.
All right, guys.
Get better, get healthy. We want to see you out on the mound.
I appreciate that. I will.
All right. Boy, he is impressive. And what a good guy. What a pitcher. What a year he had.
That's the greatest 23 pitches in a row I've ever seen in the postseason. He threw 23 straight breaking balls against the Yankees.
So cool. A little bit low. Crowd wanted Mr. Hallion to show his back.
They're probably thinking, how could it be low to that guy? But he followed it into the glove and was at the mercy of the call.
Looked to be low. 2 out, nobody on. Altuve trying to get on. He walked his first time up on a 3-2 pitch. And he can't hold on. Strikeout number 2 for Ian Anderson. Rolling in Atlanta. No score. No score, bottom of the 3rd inning. Braves with the only hit, a 2-out double by d'Arnaud last inning. And back to work is the right-hander Luis Garcia. His stuff looks good tonight.
Looks great, and we'll see how the second time around this lineup, both lineups look at their opposing pitcher getting their second looks, and that's why that that 2-out double really set up the Braves for a good chance to score here first.
It was a double, then the intentional walk to Swanson, then Anderson, the pitcher, struck out as Garcia works it home and bends one in for strike 1.
Getting a look at his delivery.
Ball, 1 strike.
He covers every quadrant. He threw a first pitch curveball for a strike and then fadeaway changeup. His fastball he can get obviously to 96, 97 at the top of the zone, the bottom of the zone, and then that cutter.
1-1 pitch is fouled away, strike 2. 2 hits in game 1 for Rosario. 0 for his last 5 going back to game 2. Two and 2. Eddie came in hitting .426 this postseason, waits on a 2-2. 3 and 2.
He doesn't like to walk much, and in the postseason as a pitcher, you know who those guys are. If you take your walks in the postseason, you increase your chances of scoring and putting pressure on the pitcher. If you want to hit, and this guy's hit a lot, so he can't complain about what he's done.
What's it going to be now on 3 and 2? And he checked it for a leadoff walk. Third walk, including the intentional pass last inning. And in steps Freddie Freeman. Fly to left, his first time, 2 for 8 in this series.
They play the shift on Freddie, and in the right situations, Freddie will pick out a situation and make them pay on the shift. He can hit it to all parts of the park. If he gets an off-speed pitch, he's looking to launch. If he gets a fastball away, he'll hit it to left field.
That's to left, but foul.
And you have that idea with Freddie because he's such a professional hitter. He can do that. And he put together great numbers, and he hits the ball all over the ballpark. But he'll pick spots and serve it over there like it's no big thing.
.6'1", 244-pound Luis Garcia brings it on 0-1.
No.
Freeman checked his swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Maldonado was surprised it wasn't a strike. This is a great changeup that caught the lower part of the zone.
And Freeman went after it, able to hold on. It's called ball 1 instead of strike 2. Here it comes from Garcia. There it is into left center. Rosario will stop at second as Tucker gets it back in. A walk and a single, 2 on, nobody out.
Seen it too many times. The great hitters can go up there with a plan and execute the plan. Fastball, he wasn't worried about pulling it. He stays back, head down, and he goes that way. It's actually easier to do if that's what you're trying to do. And Freddie Freeman, as so many people here have come used to a hit machine. It's amazing how slow he started and how on fire he went after about May till now. But those are the things, Joe, that get lost in the postseason game. Is the 2-out double seemed harmless because you knew you were going to walk the next guy and face the pitcher. But he had to start with the lineup all over again, and an opportunity for the Braves, like I said, to jump on first.
Albies will dig in. Ozzie walked his first time. 3 for 8 in this series. He's hitting 11 straight. 2 RBIs during the postseason.
Now, the only downside here for Albies is if he's too aggressive, he likes the first pitch. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's in his eyes, he's going to swing it, meaning in the zone he wants to. It could be a curveball, changeup, slider, or fastball.
And he goes after it, hooks it foul.
And what I meant by that is if you got a pitcher on the ropes and you got a first and second situation, the only downside sometimes is he may not let you get into trouble, meaning you're going to swing your way into a run, and sometimes you swing your way into a quick out.
Key hitter in the inning for Garcia with a right-handed third baseman Austin Riley on deck, who he struck out back in the first. Smothered by Maldonado. Average fastball velocity regular season through the ALCS. And now tonight, just under 96 miles per hour. First jam of the night. 2 on, nobody out. Albies hits it foul. Strike 2. These two starters tonight, pressure on them. Ian Anderson, Luis Garcia with a bullpen game coming tomorrow. And on the Atlanta side, the next 2 games, bullpen games because of the injury to Morton. Here's a 1-2.
Yeah, in a typical year, you got your 5 starters and you count on at least 4 of them come postseason. But the injury to Morton really hurt the Atlanta Braves, and you could say the same thing for McCullers. The one thing that Houston knew going in, though, they didn't have McCullers to start. You can plan for that. You can't plan for your star pitcher getting hurt and then knowing he's out of the series.
1-2 again. Offensive Ally is sponsored by Ally. And the offense, the first 3 innings, Atlanta in game 1, they seized control of the game. Going 8 for 17, they won the ball game. Houston game 2, went off early, won 7-2. Dramatically, the first 3 innings matter. And we are in the bottom of the 3rd. No scoring yet. Here is a 1-2 pitch again from Garcia. Albies takes.
Well, the old big decision, do you trust Albies and do you send the runners? Albies basically is your guaranteed stay out of the double play anyways because of his speed, but you create some motion and trust your hitters going to put the ball in play and not expand the zone with the modified shift on.
2 small second basemen in this World Series. Albies and Altuve, and both with big time power. Albies hit 30 home runs during the regular season. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. And a huge out picked up by Garcia. Strikeout number 5 and none bigger.
Well, he's shown the ability to throw off speed behind in the count, and this is an unbelievable changeup here. And out in front was Albies' gutsy pitch. First and second, nobody out. He misses with that pitch. The bases are loaded, but he executed a fantastic pitch under the gun.
Now Austin Riley.
Riley cannot miss the fastballs he missed early. Let's see what Garcia has for him the second time.
The lead runner is Rosario. In case the Braves want to get some action. Garcia gave him a look back to the bag. 12 steals on the season, including the postseason. Been caught 4 times. Good pitch to Riley, strike 1.
Front side of Riley so important. All the adjustments he made led to the monster year. When that front side pulls out and his head doesn't stay on the pitch, that's where he was struggling early in his career, and people pounded him with sliders off the plate.
Infield looking for the double play ball. Riley looking for the RBI. Hard hit, fair. Down the line, Rosario will score. Freeman is digging around and they'll hold him. 1-0 Atlanta here in the 3rd.
Well, he got one in the middle of the plate, and he did not miss this one. Breaking ball that swung and missed outside. Watch this one spin and almost back up. That's never good if you're throwing a breaking ball, and that gives the hitter the feeling that the ball is bigger. And that got the first run for the Atlanta Braves. Soler in this situation has to find a way to put the ball in play. He's a strikeout candidate. If you're Luis Garcia, you're only thinking about striking him out in this situation.
Second and third, one out. A run home. Jorge Soler checked it on ball one.
I know the style of hitting is certainly speaks for what Soler has done, but if there was ever a time to think right field, right center, that helps you stay on pitches and not trying to launch pitches where you can pull off a breaking ball. Great fastball hitter in Soler.
No in. 2 balls, no strikes. On deck is Duvall. First base open. Here it is from Garcia.
And see, that's a perfect example. He's trying to hit that to the moon, right? In the regular season, that's okay. But in the World Series, you hunt early, and then you try to make sure if you hit a ground ball to shortstop, it's 2-0.
Infield's back on the left side. Pinched in a bit on the corners, and Gurriel well off the line.
Ball 3. That was a good take. That was a postseason take, knowing the guy on deck. Even if he doesn't throw you another strike, you leave it to him to do the job. And a good pitch to see if you could get Soler to fish.
Garcia getting ready fast. Strike 2.
Really good pitch again. 3-1. That one turned the corner. Soler thought it was low.
Austin Riley at second didn't agree. All right, 3-2 pitch. Soler. Oh, no. Tried to check it. He does, and the bases are loaded. And Duvall will hit. A reminder that tonight's telecast is sponsored by Geico. Happy Geicoing. Switch to Geico for more ways to save. Brent Strom comes out of the dugout to the mound after the 4th walk is handed out by Luis Garcia.
Every walk, though, has come with the tempted swing, right? It's been that close.
Duvall will be the hitter with the bases loaded, 1 out. And a long visit on the mound. So tomorrow the stage is set for a hostile top 10 clash. Number 6 Michigan battles number 8 Michigan State in the big noon Saturday game of the week. Kickoff crew will be live in East Lansing starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Ahead of this huge rivalry showdown. All part of Big Noon Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I'm not going to say anything. Just going to let it be, let it breathe, and watch the game.
Don't show up to game 4 hoarse.
Or with a broken something.
Yeah. Here's Duvall. Out of the windup, Garcia, and a foul straight back.
I tell you, it's a little risky. I know he feels comfortable out of the windup, but it's a little risky if you had somebody that wanted to take advantage of that windup and you could walk down the third base line and steal. It's not going to happen here, but it just gives you an indication it's not your normal windup. It takes a while for his windup. Could he speed it up? Yeah, but it would affect his pitch.
Boy, you're not kidding. 0-1 pitch. Strike 2.
I can see a 2 outs, bases loaded, 0-2 count. Say, why not? Try it. Because it looks like he's in the stretch right now, but he's not.
Yeah, he's a little side saddle. Oh, 2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. Gurriel in foul ground. What a big out by Garcia. 2 down. And Garcia has d'Arnaud standing in his way as he tries to keep this just a 1-run frame for Atlanta.
And this first pitch would be very important, meaning if you think as an aggressive hitter and d'Arnaud is, you throw the first pitch breaking ball. You don't try to attack or beat him with a fastball, because with the bases loaded and 2 outs, especially after your teammate just popped up, the next batter usually wants to make something happen on the first pitch.
Change up the signs as Austin Riley's been out at second base for about 15 minutes watching these pitches come home. A 19-minute half inning. Riley with the RBI double. It scored Rosario, who led off with a walk. Garcia to d'Arnaud, and there he is going after the first pitch. Strike 1.
See, with Bregman playing so far back, if I'm Freddie Freeman, I'm going to fake like I'm doing it just to see if I can mess with the tempo of delivery. He hasn't really even gone down the line to fake it a little bit.
Here's the 0-1. I don't know that I've ever seen with a runner at third, just because the delivery is so unique. Yeah. I mean, it's 1 1,000, 2 1,000, yeah. 3 1,000.
And knowing that he can see you is even better, because he'll see you out of his peripheral. And here you're just looking for something to alter what he's doing.
I mean, it's already started.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. Obviously, if he were to stop or get thrown off, it's a balk. And if he has to hurry it up, I mean, who knows that he can get it home in time to get Freeman or anybody.
That's my point. Once he goes into the side, it's tougher to pick that leg up and go home as fast as you can. He's obviously more comfortable out of the windup, but there is some risk involved in there with the right guy at third.
2-1 the count on d'Arnaud. Doubled off the wall and right his first time up. Bases loaded, 2 out, a run home. Strike 2. I'll tell you, this kid, 24-year-old rookie, if he can get out of this, it would be some job in a tight spot here on the road with this crowd ready to explode.
And the way this series goes for the Atlanta Braves will be about how much contact can they make in these situations. You know, Houston, for the most part, is better at it. Atlanta, in these 3 home games, is going to have to be extremely good and not waste as many opportunities.
2-2 pitch. He went around and struck him out. And Luis Garcia into and out of trouble for the most part. Just 1 run scoring. And the Braves have now left 6. 1-0 Atlanta into the 4th. Fox Sports and TikTok are bringing fans behind the scenes this World Series. Discover local Atlanta businesses. You have to see it on TikTok. 1-0 game after the RBI double by Austin Riley. No hits through 3. The last pitcher with no hits allowed through the first 3 innings in a World Series game. I was calling with Tim McCarver, and you, John Smoltz,
come on,
were on the mound at Yankee Stadium. Strike 1 is into Michael Brantley. Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez. What a job by Luis Garcia to limit the damage in the bottom of the 3rd. That's a little looping foul ball for strike 2. You're on another card, John Smoltz. Braves have 1 World Series grand slam. Lonnie Smith in 1992. The 5th inning off Jack Morris. John, you started that game.
Is that in Toronto?
That was at Skydome, yes. Atlanta won that game 7-2.
No.
Braves just had a couple of at-bats with the bases loaded. Duvall fouled out to first. Darno struck out. And therefore it's just a 1-0 game.
And it's equally a big inning, and Ian knows that because he did get the win, the 1 run, but you don't want to get the other team that emotional change that they just got with the bases loaded and 1 out and feel like they won the inning, only giving up 1 run.
2-2 the count now on Michael Brantley. Two-2 delivery is in the dirt from 0-2 to 3-2.
To mention the delay that he had sitting in that dugout.
Over 20-minute half inning in the bottom of the 3rd that plated 1 run. 3-2 pitch struck him out.
Well, if you want to see why this is an interesting delivery, there you got it, right? There's the release point. But watch this. When he comes out with the fastball, straight over the top 4-seam fastball, and then there's the changeup, and then he's going to throw the breaking ball off of that. But this is really going to tell you the tale. Coming out of his hands, that's what the hitter's looking at. And that's what they have to decide last minute on what pitch it is and whether it's a strike or not.
Ball 1 to Bregman. Giving the Braves exactly what they desired tonight so far. One ball, 1 strike.
See, with that delivery, you're going to have more of a straight leg finish because he's coming straight over the top. It's really difficult to have over the top and pitch like Tom Seaver on your bottom half where your knees kind of scraping the dirt on its way down.
Two and 1. Bregman hitting just .239 this postseason, hitless in 7 at-bats. Does have the 1 RBI, the sac fly he delivered in game 1 and game 2 rather in the first inning. That's high. And the count 3-1.
So that's part of the reason why in the 7 starts that Ian Anderson has 30 innings is the patience of the manager knowing, okay, he flirts a lot with 3-2 and 3-1 and walks, and when he's in that rhythm, you could tell right away he could pitch 6 or 7 innings.
3-1.
But when he's not, he's giving the hitter and testing the patience of the hitter. On a 3-2 count, he's more than likely going to throw one of his off-speed pitches or up in the zone.
3-2 to Bregman is hit off the end of the bat into shallow right center. Duvall, 2 out. T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage, wants to send you on the baseball road trip of a lifetime. Win tickets to all 30 MLB ballparks and an RV to get you there. Just text road trip to 595959. Here's Alvarez. I thought it was interesting that Brian Snitker, who's as honest as any manager that we talk to, knowing that bullpen games are coming up, meaning he doesn't have a starter, so to speak, to go the next 2. He said, I'm not worrying about that at all tonight. Once the game starts, I'm managing to win game 3. Whatever happens in game 4 happens. But that would lead you to believe that if Anderson gets a little shaky, he's not going to give him a longer leash just because they don't have starters for the next 2 nights.
Right. And he knows, and he never would admit it, that he's shorthanded in that regard, but he definitely has to piece these games together in quadrants, right? 4 innings at a time, 3 innings in some case.
No.
But I will tell you that knowing you've got somebody that you can count on the next day really affects managing in the day, right? This game would be managed totally different if he had a lockdown 4th starter that he knew he was going to pitch in game 4.
2-1 pitch here is down. And a 3-1 count on the dangerous 24-year-old Yordan Alvarez. The start of the night hitting .410 this postseason. Takes a 2-out walk.
See, typically what happens the difference between a regular season and postseason, at least the way we approached it, is, we were always taught go strike 1 to make these things work. Meaning you go strike 1, the averages are in your favor. But you take more chances in the regular season on a 3-1 pitch, 2-0 pitch. You don't do that in the postseason. So you can rack up more pitches if you're not on. And that's what we're seeing tonight. He's got some walks. He's been behind in the count, but he's getting timely outs.
And no hits. No hits by Houston yet. This deep, good lineup held hitless through 3 2/3. No. Correa would love to change that and change the scoreboard. Ball 1.
That's why you're also seeing why, like in a Garcia, his average velocity goes up in a postseason, because it's limited. If you pitch like that the whole season, it might be difficult for him to get to this point. Adrenaline and no tomorrow.
Two 2-0. Teams that score first so far in the postseason, 26-7. Atlanta scoring in the 3rd inning and leading here in the 4th, 1-0. Meeting on the mound as Darnell goes out. Swanson comes in to talk as they try to help guide Anderson back into the strike zone. Tomorrow night we'll be back here for game 4 of the World Series. Astros and Braves. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app. We would typically show you the starting pitchers for tomorrow at this point, but we don't know who they are. Likely Greinke for Houston. That's where Dusty's leaning, but not set in stone. And Brian Snitker is going to see how this game plays out before telling the world who gets the ball in game 4. There's a strike, and it looked like Correa was taking 2-1. By the way, Zach Greinke is on the list to pinch hit tonight. Guy with 9 career home runs. That put a smile on Zach's face. That's down in the count, 3-1.
Zach Greinke is a great athlete that has had an incredible career. He's not the same pitcher that he once was, but as you get up there in age, you never are. But he will start before he will pitch out of the bullpen. Obviously, I think that's what Dusty would prefer, and he would be the candidate for tomorrow.
3-1 pitch is in for a strike. Full count, runner at first. Alvarez will get a head start, and the crowd jumps back in it. That's ball 4. And Alvarez going to third, but I think that pitch hit Correa, which means it's a dead ball, and 2 on with 2 out, runners at first and second. Alvarez has to go back, so that's hit by pitch.
And see, this is what playoff baseball will drive managers crazy. 2 outs, nobody on. 2 outs, nobody on. You just got your 1 run, and now you've created some stress by walking the next 2 hitters, and it doesn't get any easier with Tucker and Gurriel. The one good news for Tucker, or for Ian Anderson, is if there's ever a guy that wants to swing at the first pitch besides Altuve, it's him. Kyle Tucker looking to swing.
But this guy combines what you're looking for in any sport: speed and power. He can hit. Chance for the Astros. On the outside corner, and Tucker didn't agree, and that pitch looked outside. Strike 1.
It was outside, and now we'll see if they try to pick on that again. That would be a place to go again. A good ball off the plate. Tucker, of course, reminding Hallion that he thought it was off the plate.
2 on with 2 out. Tried to go back out there, but too far. 1 ball, 1 strike. Both bullpens are quiet now. Yimi Garcia was up last half inning.
Boy, his eyes light up when there's some runners in scoring position.
"13 of his 15 RBIs this postseason, and like a swinging bunt, Anderson off the mound, got the out, and ends the top of the 4th. Still no hits for Houston. Only 1 run tonight. It belongs to the Braves, who lead Game 3. It's our buddy Eddie Vedder with Long Way. You know he's watching tonight. Good game. No score, 4th inning. MLB NFT packs are available now. Each pack includes 3 MLB Icon NFTs showcasing both current and future All-Stars. Visit candy.com today for details and to purchase before they are gone. Luis Garcia bent, but did not break in the 3rd inning. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Atlanta as they lead by 1. Swanson, Anderson, and Rosario. One pitch. Wow. Maldonado hauls that in. Let's let Luis Garcia tell us about his delivery.
Rock the baby.
Gently rocking. Gently rocking. And then wham.
It's also time.
He's got a great smile, and he's got a great arm. He can pitch.
He can pitch, and he's unique, and that delivery works for him. They've been working on a couple things in between starts, and it's working, because he has been what the Astros needed
Anderson lines out. 2 pitches, 2 outs. You saw that note. Luis Garcia, and this streak may end right now. But he's already become the first rookie in World Series history with multiple strikeouts in each of the first 3 innings. Our buddy Abe Jaroszewski working in the back of the booth with note after note after note. 2 out. And Dusty Baker is going to take the young right-hander out. With Rosario coming up, the lefty Blake Taylor's coming in. The numbers for Garcia: 72 pitches, 3 2/3. Just the 1 run last inning, 3 hits, struck out 6, walked 4, and now the left-hander Blake Taylor into the ball game with 2 out and nobody on. Only his 3rd game of this postseason, and he nails the outside corner at 94.
Good arm, and obviously he's in to get the 2 lefties, or just 1 lefty if that's what Dusty decides to do. But both starters pitched about double the innings worth of innings.
That's down the left field line into the corner. It is foul.
Great job by Garcia, but his 3 2/3 probably felt like 6 and change. And right now Ian Anderson has worked 4 innings, but it probably feels like 7. The amount of traffic and pitches.
He's walked 3, hit a batter, struck out 3. Anderson has. Rosario batting with 2 out, nobody on here in the 4th. 0-2. That's a base hit into left. 2 strikes, lefty, righty, doesn't matter. Big turn by Rosario back to the bag. That thing was up around his neck.
I'm telling you, one of the most unique hitters in the game. He just wants to hit, and he finds ways to hit, and that's what he's been doing all postseason. This is a ball up above the mask, and look how flat he gets the ball and how easy he serves it the other way. And look, hitters will tell you when a pitcher's going good and he's nasty and he comes out of the game, it's like, we don't thank you. We don't care who comes in next, and sometimes it can work in an opposite way.
In for a strike to Freeman. Time called at the plate. Freeman 1 for 2. Singled in the 1-run 3rd inning. Kind of set it up after the walk to Rosario. RBI double by Austin Riley. That's strike 2.
He made 2 great pitches to Freddie Freeman, but everybody who faces Freddie Freeman better make 3 great pitches.
Here it is, and it's in the dirt.
I always felt like in this series there's a lot of pressure on the left-handed hitters for the Braves because the power arms for the Astros are right-handed. And what I mean by that is they had a lot of heavy power in the lineup for the Braves, but a lot of right-handed powers that you can swing and miss and strike out and navigate. So Albies, Rosario, and Freeman have to take advantage of the right-handers that are in there when given the chance.
One-two, a strikeout. Taylor comes in, gives up the hit, gets the strikeout, and keeps this 1-0. Atlanta now through 4 in Game 3. Back after this from your local Fox station. Ian Anderson deals and hits the inside corner to Yuli Gurriel. Gurriel and Maldonado, and then a pinch hitter, most likely. Marwin Gonzalez has grabbed a bat down there. 1-0. Astros still looking for their first hit. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Thought he was a field goal kicker.
Here's a 1-1 and a fly ball into right, easy for Soler. 1 away. Our game summary sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Garcia lasted 3 2/3. 4 1/3 now under the belt of Ian Anderson. No hits, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a hit batsman. Austin Riley has the game's only RBI, the RBI double in the 3rd. Here's Maldonado.
Well, everybody's tested in this weather. The infielders trying to stay loose, not a lot of action, a lot of deep counts. Outfielders trying to stay loose. And of course, the pitcher is probably the warmest person. He's got the most action along with the catcher.
2-0 on Maldonado, and it is Marwin Gonzalez on deck. He'll bat for Taylor, who allowed a hit and got a strikeout. Left side and caught with Albies over there. Caught it in the air. 2 out. And in walks Gonzalez. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by the all-new 2021 Ford F-150. Tough, this smart, can only be called F-150. And by Coupa. Behold the power of spend.
You know what, Joe?
What?
I think I'm getting ready for a truck. Never happened.
They're getting nicer and nicer. I know that. Here's Gonzalez. He went around strike 1. Marwin, who was added to the roster for the World Series, getting his first appearance this postseason. There's his regular season as he's come all the way back around with the Houston Astros. Late time was granted with the rain picking up. And so that pitch didn't happen, and the count still 0-1.
Yeah, it's one of those misty rains that just kind of bothers you more than it's worth.
Gonzalez, the switch hitter, strike 2. Marwin has been on postseason rosters in years past with Houston. First 7 seasons with the Astros, 2012 through 18, and left as a free agent. And now back. And now trying to extend the top of the 5th. Takes strike 3. 4 strikeouts, no hits against the young right-hander for Atlanta. Well, Ian Anderson gets the handshake from Brian Snitker. That usually means night-night. After 5 no-hit innings, we'll see. Yimi Garcia takes over for Houston. Deals with the heart of the lineup, and first pitch ground ball out as Albies grounds out 3-1 with Gurriel feeding Garcia, who's been a really good pickup. One of the 3 big arms that the Astros got before the deadline to help get them through the AL West, to help get them through the Division Series, the LCS, and now pitching in the World Series for Dusty Baker.
He's got one of them quick arms. He kind of whips the ball to the plate with some electric stuff and good movement.
One out for Riley. The RBI double his last time up. Hit the knees. Good pitch.
Well, like I said, most of these teams have hit in pretty good conditions. You know, the dome, of course, with the Astros. And this is the first one where hitters are being challenged with the feel. And now they're going to be challenged with pitches.
Yeah, nice pick by Gurriel, who played on the left side of the infield in Cuba. And he's really become a good first baseman. 2 down.
This ball's hit hard. It would have been much more difficult if that hit the grass and skidded, but it hit the dirt. And as a first baseman should, with a bigger glove.
Soler now. Strike one. Jorge walked to load the bases in the third. Struck out against Luis Garcia in the second. Yemi brings it. Ball one. Picked up from the Marlins at the end of July. Was the Marlins closer. They also have Kendall Graveman, who was the Mariners closer. Oh, no. A good pitch there. Doesn't get the call. 2-1. And they have their own closer in Ryan Presley. So they are good at the back end of the bullpen, and that doesn't even count Ryan Stanek.
Yeah, their last three. It's tough to snatch a victory when they're leading with those last three going in.
Here's a 2-1. 3-1. The Astros in the 6th inning will have the top of the order. The 3-1 pitch is outside, a 2-out walk. We saw the handshakes in the dugout. And it's A.J. Minter in the bullpen for Atlanta. Looks like he's coming in.
You know, we've been doing this a while, and we've seen the different philosophies now. And we saw Game 6, of course, with the Rays take out Blake Snell. This has become more commonplace than not. And there are certain decisions and certain kind of strategies that are laid out before the game and usually followed. Your eyes can make some adjustments, but it's going to be tough for a lot of people to understand why someone could be taken out without giving up a hit. But based on the information and just the lack of training for them to face the lineup multiple times, I'm sure Brian Snickers said, okay, you did an unbelievable job. You pitched behind in the count quite a bit. We're going to go to our bullpen from here on in.
And those big power left-handed arms down there in the pen. Here comes a 1-0 pitch, and Duvall empties on that swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's go to Kenny Rosenthal.
Joe, Ian Anderson is going to get taken out at the exact point Luis Garcia was taken out, just as he was about to face the opposing lineup for the 3rd time. And that is the way games are managed today. They are particularly managed this way in the postseason. Astros, highest scoring team during the regular season. We have seen them get hot quickly with their fast break offense. That's why this is happening.
Well, there's another layer. I get it. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And we've already said that's a strike. That manager Brian Snickers not thinking about the next 2 games, but you do have 3 games in a row. You've got bullpen games in games 4 and 5, so that is another layer here, and you've got a guy on the mound that hasn't allowed a hit through 5 innings. It's not that simple to just say, okay, third time through.
I agree.
We're going to just yank him because it's the third time through.
Totally agree. And you got 3 games in a row, so you're basically going to see these guys a lot. And the more an offense gets to see the bullpen in a series like this, the better the offense gets. And again, I can buy into a regular season philosophy, but when you're in the postseason, each game doesn't usually follow the way a regular season 162 games might show you.
Two out, a runner at first after the walk to Soler, and now a 2-2 pitch coming to Adam Duvall. Back up the middle. Altuve gloves, throws, no chance. 2 on, 2 out. That'll bring in d'Arnaud, and we'll send it to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, Joe, I like you bringing up the other side of the coin. I wasn't seeing really good swings against Ian Anderson. And I know this, after game 1, the Astros were, even though they lost, confident that they got looks at Minter and Matzik. And in fact, Michael Brantley and Alex Bregman do up second and third next inning against Minter. They got 2 at-bats against Minter in game 1.
They're going to see him in the 6th. What will the score be? A little 2-out noise by Atlanta here in the 5th. d'Arnaud takes a strike. Strike 2.
The other tough part now is going to be, it would have to be Minter for 1 inning, because you got, unless you're going to let him bat, you got the pitcher coming up in 2 spots.
That's foul.
And you're not going to double switch with d'Arnaud.
Oh, 2 pitch. Ball 1. Big right-hander looked like he was cruising through this first inning and then walked Soler. The infield hit by Duvall sent back up the middle. And the Astros are going to change up the signs.
d'Arnaud hit the homer on the road. Hard to believe he hasn't hit a homer at home. He hasn't played all year because of the injury.
Just over 3 months with a tear in his left thumb. 1-2. I wonder how that thumb feels on a night like this.
It's had to affect him at the plate. Just getting used to it and getting back healthy, but so important as Maldonado is to Houston, d'Arnaud is to the Braves. They went through about 7 or 8 different catchers in his absence.
Two from Yimi Garcia. Ground ball at Gurriel, and he will take it to end the 5th. Top of the order coming up. That means Jose Altuve. Braves going to their bullpen, 1-0. They're up in game 3. Jose Altuve is about to lead it off here in the 6th inning. He has scored 17 of the 20 times he's reached base. With hits and walks. I mean, it's just remarkable. And he's first up against the new pitcher for Atlanta, A.J. Minter.
Well, A.J. Minter has been really good, as you see the numbers there. But I guarantee you Altuve and the rest of the Astros are like, okay, we'll take this, because we weren't doing anything against Ian Anderson.
Anderson threw 76 pitches. Ball one inside. Walked and struck out. That's the night for Altuve. Brantley and then Bregman the next two.
See, the one thing, just to explain, you know, everyone's got a theory and an analytical reason for things to happen in sports today, and I get it. But you're asking an awful lot of every guy to come in to be as good as the guy before. And it gets a little difficult the more you have those pitchers have to be perfect.
Strike from Minter, who along with Matzik and Will Smith has been pretty close to perfect this postseason. They've been outstanding.
He pitched 3 innings in the injury game to Morton. Big reason why they were able to win it.
2-1 on the way, and a strike, 2-2.
Cutting fastball, the cutter.
Two from Minter.
Good job by Bregman. You see that? Back control?
I missed it. Let's see it. Very nice.
And that's in slow motion.
Here's another 2-2. Altuve first up in the 6th. A strikeout from Minter, one away. Michael Brantley's coming up. Our player resume sponsored by Indeed. Has hit safely in 22 of his last 23 postseason games, 10 multi-hit games. You see the numbers over 9 games in his World Series career.
Yeah, he's just a throwback hitter. Solid mechanics, doesn't get carried away. Against left-handers, he's probably a little more aggressive on the first pitch than he will against right-handers. Absolutely knows the strike zone.
On the outside corner.
He's letting him know what I just said. I know the strike zone. Nasty pitch away, but off the plate.
Well framed by Darno. Instead of ball one, it's strike one. One out here in the 6th. Late swing and a miss at 97.
That's how you make a pitch after you get a call on the outside part of the plate. You go right there and put the pressure back on both components, the umpire and the batter. Perfectly executed by Minter.
Oh, 2 pitch. Minter really had opened up, feeling as if he had let his teammates down over this little roller coaster ride here recently. Was shipped out to AAA in July, but got it back together. And here in the postseason, This stuff has been electric. One, two. To the right side. Freeman to the bag. 2 down. And before Bregman bats, we'll tell you tonight's telecast sponsored by Indeed. We help people get jobs. And by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Bregman stands in. 0 for 1 with a walk. Strike 1. So the bullpen comes in, takes over in the 6th. You've got the 3 big left-handers. You got to cover 4 innings worth. 6, 7, 8, 9. Luke Jackson, the right-hander, is a guy that mixes in. Right now, just a 1-run game. 0-1 pitch hits him, and that hurt. And Dusty walks out from the far end of the dugout where he'd been watching, and that just didn't look good at all.
Cold, 90-some miles an hour, cutting action, and just clips him where the protection's not there. That protection's for foul balls off the bat. And catches him on the side.
Right in the ankle.
Right above the ankle.
And somehow Bregman's up. And he's going to go down to first.
Oh, man.
He says he's good to go. The inning continues with Yordan Alvarez digging in. Bregman feels like he's grinding and figuring out his swing, but he really has a good time playing this game as Yordan, who's 0 for 1 with a walk, deals with the lefty Minter.
He's like, come on, AJ, you just hit me in the ankle.
He was grunting, getting back to first base, like, ah.
But it would be the ultimate surprise if he stole.
Alvarez waits. Good pitch there, and this time Minter doesn't get the call. Alvarez does. Ball 1.
And that's why you can't tell me that getting the setup affects the call. He's way outside and reaches really right down the middle. But if he's set up down the middle, it's a no-brainer. And I know they say it doesn't matter where you set up, but I just think the presentation of where the catcher is important.
That's foul.
Because if you're set up in an area and your pitchers are kind of painting on an inch on each side and you're not moving your glove, you're going to get more calls. They could talk to me all they want about pitch framing, and pitch framing is only as good as the pitcher that allows you to frame it. I mean, you're not going to frame a pitch that's a ball and make it look like a strike if it's missed badly either way.
Strike 2 on Alvarez. Popped up, left side. Riley's out of room as it goes about 3 rows back. Alvarez 10 for 24 off left-handed pitching this postseason. Hitting .417. But they're not near Minter. Bottom of the 6th will roll in with Atlanta clinging to a 1-0 lead. Yimi Garcia heads back to work. Bottom of the 6th inning. Dansby, Swanson first up. Ede Adrianza waiting on deck. No. Ball 1 to Swanson. Here's Adrianza. Swanson has drawn an intentional walk, fouled out, takes a strike. Lefty Brooks Raley getting ready to go with an eye on Rosario. Adrianza's a switch hitter. Count 2-1.
Yeah, top of the lineup. Rosario, Freeman, all these will be the target for the left-hander for the Astros.
Two 2-1 on Swanson. 2 for 7 in this World Series. Not close. 3 balls and a strike.
This is where Swanson's got to look for one area, middle, in, and that's it.
Hit 27 home runs during the regular season, drove in 88. First overall pick in 2015.
And if you're Yimi, you have to make him hit his way on.
Jammed him just enough, and Alvarez comes in. For out number 1. Before Adrianza comes to the plate, Geico is donating tickets to honor military members and their families at major league stadiums around the country through the Geico Seats for Service program. Tonight, we welcome Sergeant Major Sel Davis, a U.S. Army reservist stationed in Atlanta, Georgia. Sergeant Major Sel Davis, welcome to the park and welcome to the World Series. As Maldonado goes out to talk with the pinch hitter coming up, and that means it's 1 inning with 2 strikeouts and a hit batsman for A.J. Minter.
Need a 7th inning stretch? Hey Siri, tell me more about Apple Fitness Plus.
Adrianza 1 for 8 this postseason. First World Series at bat. After the first pitch, strike 1.
Now pinch hitters will still get a chance in the tunnels to get some swings and go take some swings, but coming off the bench on a cold night, not easy.
Outside, 1-1. Let's go to Kenny Rosenthal.
Joe, Adrianza is one of the Braves' most intelligent and best prepared players. The coaches never have to tell him to get ready. At the end of the 2019 season, he managed a game for the Twins in place of Rocco Baldelli after the Twins had clinched. But his goal is not to be a manager or coach. He wants to be a GM.
Fouls that one back, strike two.
I don't hear that very often.
Well, he had 72 pinch hit plate appearances this season, and he led baseball in extra base hits coming off the bench. 16 hits total. 5 doubles. 3 pinch hit home runs as he bats for A.J. Minter. Grounds one to Altuve. 2 down. Back to the top, Rosario, and back to the mound, Dusty Baker, to make the pitching change. An inning and 2/3 for Yimi Garcia, as he gets 5 important outs here in a 1-run game. Brooks Raley coming in. Eddie Rosario coming up. First pitch from Raley is up and away to Eddie Rosario. Down and away, 2-0.
Well, the perfect situation so far for Dusty has worked out. He's been able to bring in his left-handers with 2 outs and get him acclimated to the tough left-handed hitters of the Braves, and some wiggle room, right? Not in high-stress situations, even though 1-0 is a high-stress situation, but nobody on base.
2-0 pitch. Rosario with a base hit the other way his last time up, walked and scored. The only run back in the 3rd. Struck out his first time up, and there's the shift. He can hit it where it's pitched. 2 out in the inning, nobody on, and ball 3. 3-1. Another lefty, Freddie Freeman next. Rosario will be looking to rip one out of here with a count in his favor. 3-1. Takes a strike, full count. Crowd chanting his name. Sticks the bat out, pops it into center, long run, and diving catch by Tucker. What a play by Kyle Tucker, and a big smile on the face of the Astros center fielder. 7th inning rolls in. Tight game, 1-0. Atlanta on top. Back after this from your local Fox station. What a game. Still no hits for Houston. 5 for Atlanta and only 1 run. Braves on top. Final 1/3 of the game. 7th inning. Carlos Correa deals with Luke Jackson, who pounds it in there at 96 for strike 1. Five hit-free innings put up by Ian Anderson, A.J. Minter. A shutout inning, and now Jackson, who evens the count at 1-1.
Jackson's key is throwing strikes with his fastball. 97 miles an hour, wipeout slider. He wants to go to that pitch. He throws enough fastballs for strikes. That pitch becomes the equalizer.
Correa, then Tucker, then Gurriel. Here it is, and foul back, strike 2. Last team with no hits allowed through 6 innings, the Mets and Jerry Koosman. 69 game 2 at the Orioles. 1-2 pitch. Down. 2-2.
See how big that break is. It's top to bottom big. Power breaking ball.
Correa on 2-2. Hits it on 1 hop. Nice scoop. Albies. Wow. Statcast powered by Google Cloud as Kyle Tucker walks in. He just made that diving catch in center to end the 6th.
Yeah, you see the distance he covers and the sprint speed. That ball looked like it was never going to get to him, but his long body and stretched out snatched it.
Only his 6th game overall in center. First time in the postseason. Typically a corner outfielder, the right fielder. But no DH, so he's moved over and makes a play. Ball 1. Tucker was up with 2 on and 2 out his last time up. And bounced out back to the pitcher, Anderson. Popped out his first time. So he's facing one tall right-hander after another and comes up empty, strike 1. Ball 2. This is an Astros lineup that's been shut down tonight. They've got 5 runs or more in 10 postseason games this year. And as a group hitting .276 this postseason, but nothing yet. 2-1 pitch is in the air to center, and it will carry to Duvall. 2 out.
Yeah, we've shown you a lot of numbers that this offense is for real, and tonight this has been a great job by the Atlanta Braves, and we'll see how many pitchers it will take to hold them down if they're able to, but this is a quick strike type offense.
Yuli Gurriel now 0 for 2.
This goes like according to the previous scripts for the Atlanta Braves. We talked about how well they've pitched and played at home. Well, that theme has continued, and if Brian Snitker gets his way, more than likely that man in the 8th, and if needed, here in the 7th.
The closer, the lefty, Will Smith. We'll see their big 4 here tonight. Left side backing up Riley. Long throw. Bounces it twice. Got it. And a nice play by Freeman on the back end. Quick and easy inning for Luke Jackson. Time to stretch. Freddie Freeman first up for Atlanta, bottom of the 7th. Braves up by 1 on that single tally. Back in the third. That misses for ball one from Brooks Raley. Freeman 1 for 3. Albies and then Riley. That's Correa. 1 out. Right now on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app, the current over-under for total runs is 2.5. Wow. Started at 8.5. Wonder what the odds would be for a no-hitter. There've been 2 in the postseason all time. 1 in the World Series. Perfect game by Don Larson in 1956, Game 5. The other no-hitter, Roy Halladay, the late Roy Halladay. Game 1 of the 2010 Division Series for Philly. Albies batting right-handed. He lines to Correa. 2 out.
Well, much like in Houston, the fans stand when their team is hitting. You just sense the tension here. A 1-run game.
Dusty Baker, who was drafted by the Braves in the 26th round in 1967, is out to take the ball from Raley. Stanek coming in. Riley coming up. Austin Riley with 2 out and nobody on. The maximum value play of the game, sponsored by Coupa. And it's the RBI double by Riley. That's scored the only run of the night. Stanek deals at 98. Strike 1.
Well, one of the only mistakes Garcia made. He got out of that jam. Stanek, you already seen the fastball, throws a lot of splits. One thing about the split, it disappears when thrown properly, but it hangs in the strike zone. No. If it's thrown incorrectly, and a night like this and a swing like Riley, that's what he's looking to connect on. Something in the middle of the zone with his swing path.
That was a late strike call on a ball that looked outside. One and 2.
Want to go right back there, don't you?
A strikeout, and Stanek takes care of Riley. The big left-hander coming in. Tyler Matzik, 8th inning, trying to protect a 1-run lead. Well, to the mound is Tyler Matzik, 4th pitcher of the night for the Atlanta Braves. No hits allowed by the Braves. A 1-0 ball game here in the 8th. The series tied at a game apiece. Aledmys Diaz off the bench to pinch hit for Maldonado. And then Jason Castro will hit, also a pinch hitter. He's on deck. 1-0 pitch from Matzik. Fouled back, and a good swing by Diaz. A ball and a strike.
Well, Matzik has been magic for the Atlanta Braves, and that electric arm. Make the case that he's one of the biggest reasons they're here, and they're hoping that he continues.
From Anderson to Minter to Luke Jackson. Now Tyler Matzik, his 1-1 pitch. Last team that held the opponents hitless through 7 innings. It happened for the Red Sox and Jim Lonborg. The 67 World Series Game 2 against the Cardinals. All by Lonborg tonight. 3 pitchers put together 7 hitless innings. Here's a little flare. Shallow left and a base hit. Gets down in front of Rosario. And on base is Aledmys Diaz on a ball that just landed for the Astros in the perfect spot.
Yeah, it was in the perfect spot. Rosario plays pretty deep. So once Swanson got out there, it actually buckled Rosario just a little bit, almost as if he was getting too close.
Yeah, looking at that, Rosario takes his eyes off the ball, looks at Swanson.
Yeah.
And it just falls right in front of him.
Yeah, the hesitation of Swanson coming towards him, and then the fact that he was playing so deep.
And the bench is surprised that that ball fell in. So the leadoff man is on. The first hit for Houston, and the batter is Jason Castro.
Well, the one pitch for Matzek that's been unhittable, virtually unhittable, is this slider. 1 for 18 the hitters are with 12 strikeouts this postseason.
Good block by d'Arnaud, and that keeps the tying run at first base. There's a bit of a holdup here with Diaz at first. Are they going to use a pinch runner? And they are. Siri. As they finally are making that call, and they're making Matzek wait.
Let's go, let's go.
d'Arnaud has had a tough time throwing out base stealers. And Siri is into the ball game on this cold night, trying to stretch out, and the crowd getting a little restless as this has taken a long time. This season, d'Arnaud just 2 for 43 throwing out base stealers. Siri showed off his speed in game 2. Castro at the plate. He has a home run this postseason that came in the ALCS game 2 off a lefty. Darwinzon Hernandez. Now it's Matzek, tying run at first. And a 2-0 count on Castro.
Well, just the thought of somebody that can steal at first with a left-hander, you can tell it can alter your delivery. Tried to go with a slide step right there and threw the fastball up. So just the thought of speed, which isn't on a ton of teams, and teams don't steal that much philosophically, it can affect the pitcher.
2-0 pitch. 97 and a weak swing from Castro. 2-1.
You've got a couple different versions of your lead. You can have what's called a one-way lead, which means you're not going, but your lead is big enough that any movement you make a move towards first. Secondary lead is when you're trying to get out there to steal and you time it where you want to be going towards second base as he goes to home.
Two and 2 on Castro.
You can see the fastball just exploding. Tough call whether you go to your slider here and speed up the bat of Castro or go fastball by him again. Good fastball hitter, but again, he's been on the bench.
Jason Castro, pinch hitting, strikes out.
Four-seam fastball that just eats up. That's when you know it has great carry, because you swing underneath the ball. That means it has great life, because you as a hitter have like 0.003 seconds to make up your mind on a pitch, especially at 97 miles an hour. So you're trying to gauge where you think the ball's going to be starting your swing, and that jump on that fastball.
Altuve, strike one. You saw those numbers. Look at him again. This postseason, with runners on, he's faced 23 hitters. He's given up 1 hit. Opponents are 1 for 20. There are 2 walks mixed in, 14 strikeouts.
He's in a groove. He's in a groove.
No bigger outs to this point than the 3 he got in the 7th inning of Game 6 of the NLCS. With 2 on and nobody out. Altuve pops it up. Riley, 2 out. And Michael Brantley stands between Matzik and another scoreless frame this postseason. Runner is good. Throw down is not in time. Gets into center field, and the tying run will be 90 feet away. That'll be a stolen base and an error on d'Arnaud.
Well, he got enough looks at his move. He went on first move. Two outs, trying to steal the bag, and I think Swanson will tell you he probably could have come up with that. It skipped. See the skip on the grass with it being dewy. Went over his glove.
So another steal against d'Arnaud. Siri looking back in. Good throw might have had him, but it bounced in, and now over at third is Jose Siri for Brantley, and a hit ties it. 1-0 pitch. Can't catch up. 99 miles per hour, strike one.
It looks easy, right? Like the arm swing and everything about it. He's not grunting. Just looks easy gas. Now some pressure on d'Arnaud and Matzik with the slider.
Strike two. Popped up, left side, Riley, inning over. The no-hitter is gone. The lead is not. With $100,000 on the line, less than 50 fans have predicted the postseason perfectly in the MLB Postseason Bracket Challenge presented by Roman. Those who entered can check their performance at MLB.com/bracket. 1-0, bottom of the 8th inning. Braves batting against Kendall Graveman, former closer with Seattle and free agent to be. And that rides Soler off the plate with ball 1. Castro, who pinch hit and struck out, doing the catching now. Hard hit in the hole. Correa, long throw, a bounce, and the out. What a play by Carlos Correa, one away.
Yeah, Carlos Correa, taller shortstop, still able to go get the ball, and he's got a great arm, and of course the ball being wet and his hand being wet, probably because he touched the grass. Easiest way is one hop.
Ball really skidded off the grass, but the out nonetheless, and Adam Duvall will be the hitter. In the 9th inning, the Astros will have Bregman, Alvarez, and Correa. And in the words of the now retired longtime radio voice of the Cardinals, Mike Shannon, old Abner has done it again. With 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the 9th inning in a 1-run game at the moment. Duvall would like to change that. Strike 2. Rain has stopped again. Chilly night. Less than 50 degrees here north of the city of Atlanta in this beautiful facility, home of the Braves. For the 5th year now, in the 0-2 pitch from Kendall Graveman. Struck him out, 2 out. Batter will be Darno. We'll give you a quick word from Lone Depot.
The home smells like citrus.
Our home smells a lot like fresh cut flowers.
It's just that feeling of coming in and you're like, I'm home.
Left-hander and closer Will Smith is ready to roll. The 3 hitters that are going to face Will Smith have virtually no history against the lefty. Darno flies one into center. Back at the wall. Goodbye. 2-0 Atlanta on Darno's first home run at home this season. And what a time he picked. On a cold night, John, riding that out to straightaway center.
Yeah, that was mashed. Sinking fastball at 96, 97, went out at 100 and something.
And now a strike to Swanson. A little breathing room for Atlanta in the 8th. Can't help but think about what life is like as a closer, and you've lived it.
Yeah.
Will Smith is getting ready. It's been a dominant night by the Braves pitchers all night. Now it's 2-0. This stadium is beyond loud, and it's up to Smith to come in and try to get the save and nail down a win here in the World Series. That is pressure.
Yeah, there's a huge adrenaline rush right now. That's a huge relief that he knows he can at least afford a mistake. meaning a solo home run doesn't beat you. And you come into a game, luckily for Will Smith, he's not a max effort guy, and he relies on spin to get it done.
Swanson set up at 1-2. With that 437-foot moonblast by Travis d'Arnaud, FTX will be making a $100,000 donation to charity. The player with the longest moonblast of the postseason gets to choose the charity for the total donation. What a swing that was for Atlanta. Now a 2-2 count on Dansby Swanson, who strikes out. But d'Arnaud, on a cold night, sends one out to center and turns a one-run game into a two-run game as we go to the ninth inning in Game 3. Travis d'Arnaud has made it 2-0. And the big bats for Houston for Will Smith. Bregman first up. Strike one. Guillermo Heredia is in the game in center for Duvall. Bregman tonight 0 for 1, 0 for 8 in this World Series. Been grinding on his swing, trying to get something going in the ninth inning. Takes ball one. Yordan Alvarez and Carlos Correa the next two.
A lot of sliders. Occasional fastball.
Four for 4 in save chances this postseason for Will Smith. 37 for 43 during the regular season, 86%. 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. Fifth pitcher of the night. First 4 have been outstanding. Right side is wide open, and Bregman finds it for a leadoff single. Our Hyundai lift of the game. We talk about the relievers, and every time Matson comes into a ball game in October these days, he's just lights out. He got through the 8th, did give up the first hit, but gets 3 more big outs. Exciting the fans in the Battery. Tying run at the plate, and it's Yordan Alvarez. 10 for 25 off lefties this postseason. That could stay in play. Looks like it will. Riley down the line. Foul ground. 1 out. And a big out.
Telling you, the shift would go away if more hitters did that on a regular basis. But we've already seen in this postseason many hitters choosing to make that shift their friend. And Bregman put the tying run at the plate.
And now, after Alvarez flies out, here's Correa. The Astros with 14 runs in the 9th inning this postseason. It's the second most in a single postseason, with more rounds in October these days, but still they've had 9th inning fun as Correa fouls away strike 1.
Now Correa could do the same thing, but his thoughts are, I'm 1 swing away from tying up the game. But if he gets to 2 strikes, that shift becomes a little more enticing for him with 2 strikes. Up into 2 strikes, he's trying to hit the gap or tie the game up with a homer.
Correa takes the ball. Still just one home run this postseason for Carlos Correa, the free agent to be. 26 during the regular season.
Now, if Will Smith makes good sliders down and in, it'll be harder for him to do that.
Two and one.
Even with this kind of shift, it's going to be hard to turn a double play. You see where Albies is. He's the only one that can turn a double play if it's hit to third or short, and it'll be unorthodox to get there.
Little fly ball into right center field, going to get it for the out. Duvall. Two down, and the batter will be Kyle Tucker. Tucker 0 for 3, but he's hit 4 home runs and driven in 15 runs this postseason. This crowd has waited a long time to get the World Series back in Atlanta. 22 years. They're 1 out away from posting a win in Game 3. Strike one.
Freddie Freeman is kind of trying to keep Bregman honest. I'm surprised he's even keeping him honest. With a left-handed hitter, no reason really. Even if he goes to second, he walks to second, it doesn't matter.
And that's going to get away, but Bregman stays put. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Freddie, of course, is going to protect the line for doubles. He doesn't want to give up a double down that line and put the tying run at second. But the Braves pitching has continued to theme in the last, I would say, 11, 12 games here at home where they've caught fire.
Two balls and a strike. If it gets past Tucker, the American League batting champion Yuli Gurriel is on deck. Tucker hits one in the air to right center. Heredia says he's got it. Braves win Game 3. Anderson the win, Garcia the loss, and the save for Smith. 5 for 5 this postseason. What a pitching performance by the Atlanta Braves against this outstanding Houston lineup.
They did everything you had to do. Brian Snitker cannot be any happier. When you think about Houston coming in here, cold night, their pitchers were just as stingy. A huge win for the Atlanta Braves, and now time will tell on who and how many pitchers will pitch the next couple games.
Bullpen game coming up. We expect Greinke to start for the Astros. Not sure for Atlanta as Heredia puts it away.